You're listening to the WSJU Sports Update, giving you up-to-the-minute stats, scores, and news.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the SportsStop here on WSJU Radio. Let's get you started with the sports news of the day. St. John's guard D'Angelo Harrison has been awarded with the Haggerty Award. The award is presented to the Division I basketball player in the New York metropolitan area who performed the best this year. Harrison averaged 17.5 points per game this past season. The NHL playoffs are underway, and the local New York Rangers find themselves up a game against the Philadelphia Flyers as they lead the series 2-1. The NBA playoffs have also started, and the only New York team in the postseason, the Brooklyn Nets, are tied in the series against the Toronto Raptors at 1 game apiece after losing in Toronto last night. Albert Pujols smashed his 500th home run last night for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, making him just the 26th member of the 500 home run club. And the New York Mets have solved their first base situation by trading away Ike Davis to Pittsburgh and by keeping Lucas Duda. I'm James Mitchell, and that's your sports news of the day. Stay tuned for the Sports Stop here on WSJU Radio. It's going to be an hour-long sprint, so you don't want to miss any of it.
This is the Sports Stop with your hosts, James, Atticus, and Evan. Only on WSJU Radio.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Sports Stop here on WSJU Radio. I am WSJU's own James Mitchell. Alongside me are my partners, Evan McGuire and Atticus George Andrzejewski. It is Wednesday, April 23rd. 23rd, right, guys? Yeah. Thank you. April 23rd, really quick show. It's going to be an hour-long sprint today because of scheduling conflicts here at St. John's University. It's actually a Monday schedule. So we're going to have a jam-packed show. And we're going to have a little help with that by introducing a new prospective member. So, introduce yourself.
Hey, everyone. My name is Kurt Zem. I'm happy to be on the show today, and I'm excited to talk about sports with you guys.
Great. What's you're a sports fan? You're a big sports fan?
I am. I'm originally from Germany, so I'm a huge soccer guy.
Oh, God.
Huge soccer guy.
Huge soccer.
But I'm also...
It came back to bit.
But then I watch everything. Like last night I went to the Mets game.
Nice.
Yeah. And then...
You should have went to one the night before.
Yeah.
They won that one.
It was better when Wainwright pitched a gem, though, last night.
That's true. He did pitch real well.
Wainwright's been killing it, though.
He always does.
Yeah.
He's also batting above... he's batting 400, too.
Yeah, the guy has... Yeah, I think he has 5 hits this year. And of course he bats only... Yeah, seriously. I wish that was the case. All right, so like I said, it's going to be a quick show. Let's get right down to it. Our top stories today are going to be the playoffs. Of course, both the NHL and the NBA. So actually, one team actually moved on to the second round in the NHL playoffs, and that was the Canadiens sweeping the Tampa Bay Lightning. Of course, the Lightning had the better seeding.
But they also didn't have their starting goalie.
That's true.
That was a big thing for them. I mean, they ended up pulling the second string goalie and going with the third string last night, and he played great. And then I think this entire playoffs, the referees have been stepping in too much. It's not like what it was last year. It's too much referee right now. I think they should let them play on a little bit.
Got to let the boys play sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
got to let the boys play.
It's hockey, and you're seeing like NBA fouls where they just touch you, and they're going on man advantage just because of that. I just don't agree with it.
Yeah, I've been seeing that too. Also, some surprise. A lot of people are surprised that LA is already down. Are they down 3 games to none now?
Yeah, 3-0.
Yeah.
I mean, I think San Jose has been a complete shock to me. I didn't think they would be scoring, 6 goals first game, 7 goals the second game, and last night they scored 4 goals against Jonathan Quick.
I mean, we knew San Jose was a definite threat, definite offensive threat, but I didn't think that they were going to be this good of an offensive threat, especially against a great goalie like Jonathan Quick.
Yeah, he's one of the best in the league, and I mean, they're just tearing him apart.
Yeah, and he's got a Stanley Cup to his name, so it's not like he's new to the playoffs either.
I think it's interesting that San Jose, like, usually they're really good during the regular season, and then when they get to the playoffs, they just choke and they can't do anything. But this year,
Yeah.
except the Cowboys always have trouble making the playoffs.
It's true.
Yeah.
It always comes out to that final game, and they have to win it, and they always just choke
I love it.
every time.
Who also does that? Houston Rockets typically do that. They always get in the first round of the playoffs, especially with T-Mac. That was his biggest thing. He couldn't get past the first round.
Before T-Mac, he was always injured. He always had.
It's true, yeah. But now
he's pitching.
that's true. Now he's pitching.
I saw he had his first game, and he went an inning, gave up 3 hits, 1 run. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too bad for a basketball player.
It's true. I mean, it was always his dream to play baseball, and he signed. I don't know, some independent league, the Sand Gnats or something like that, somewhere out there. But enough about T-Mac. He's completely irrelevant. Like, he is no longer relevant anymore. So yeah, let's go quickly back to the NHL playoffs. The local team, New York Rangers, just won last night against the Philadelphia Flyers. They beat them 4-1. They played ugly on Easter Sunday, though.
They played great on Easter Sunday.
No. I don't know if we're watching the same game.
Well, I'm rooting for the Flyers.
I understand this. However,
I very much liked it.
no, that was an ugly game. Let's see what else is going on here. The Bruins are up 2-1 against the Red Wings.
That first game was so exciting to watch. I mean, they won it on Datsuk, your favorite player.
That's yucky.
Yes.
Yes.
They won it on a great individual effort by him, just reaching back behind him, bringing the puck all the way forward, and then just deking through the defense, and then a wrister right by Tuukka Rask, who's probably the best goalie in the league right now.
Yeah, I mean, he pitched a shutout last night. What was it, 23 saves? Low 20 saves against the Red Wings? No easy task, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean...
And we say it constantly, whoever's got the hot goalie, usually they make it pretty far.
Tuukka Rask has been hot
the entire year.
Season.
Yeah.
Really.
Goalies win championships or win Stanley Cups.
Yeah, see, there you go.
That's it.
What else is going on? We got the Penguins and the Blue Jackets. How's that going? You're a Penguins fan, Atticus.
Yeah, I am. The Penguins are up 2-1 in the series.
That was kind of a shocking last game.
Oh, wait, didn't they
yeah.
score 3 goals in like 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I think they were down like 3-0.
They were down 3-1.
Yeah, they were down 3-1.
That's what it was, yeah. And they ended up winning 4-3. That was a pretty good game.
They scored I think it was the second period. They scored it with like 0.6 seconds left in the period to close it out, and then get on that run early in the third. I think it was.
That's something else.
I mean, it's not surprising because the Penguins' firepower is just unbelievable. I mean, Crosby, Malkin, Neal,
Right.
Letang. It's just an endless list. It seems like.
But, I mean, the hockey, what would you say the average goals in a game would be for one team? Like 3?
I was going to say 3.
3.
2.5.
2.5? All right.
Yeah, if you did the average, you're probably like 2.5.
Probably.
Just to be technical.
Yeah.
Now, let's say 2.5 is the average. They went above the average in 2 minutes.
Well, I
That's
think,
something else.
I think the Penguins always go above the average, though.
Yeah, they typically do, but in 2 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, they only scored 4 goals in the game.
Right. So, I mean, they had to make up for it. But no, that was exciting, along with pretty much every other series in this NHL
Did you
playoffs,
guys,
except for the Canadians Lightning. Yeah. I apologize, Evan, but go ahead.
Did you guys see the Blackhawks Blues game? When Backies took that hit?
I did not. Oh, wait a minute. No. Wait.
Seabrook got suspended for like 5 games or something like that. Anyone
No.
see that game?
No.
Nope.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
Apparently, he came like David Backies, he was the captain for the St. Louis Blues, was turning on the boards and he was facing them, and Seabrook came flying in, hit him in the head, and pretty much Backies was knocked out for a little bit, got up, and then tried to go after somebody. I don't think he knew where he was, but Seabrook, who's probably the Blackhawks number 2 defenseman,
Okay.
is now suspended for 5 games because of it.
Wow.
That's a big hit for them.
That is a big hit for them.
I think they won that game 3, so I think the series 2-1 Blues right now.
Okay.
I just did the calculations on the Penguins for all season long. They average pretty much exactly 3 goals a game.
Yeah, it was 3.03.
Yeah.
They did that in 2 minutes the other night.
So right on pace.
See, there you go. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, I don't know. This is really funny though. There was a little tussle between Zdeno Chara. Am I saying his name right?
Yeah.
And who was the guy trying to
I
fight
don't
him?
know, he's like 5 foot something.
Yeah.
That's
And
hard, though.
of course, Chara is like the giant of the NHL.
And
7
Char,
feet tall.
meanwhile, Char's just laughing at him this entire time.
Chara's giggling as he's trying to fight him.
He's like, "All right, come on, like, are you? This can't be serious. You can't be serious right now. You're trying to come after me."
Where's Chara from? Is he from Russia? Please tell me he's
No,
from Russia.
No, he's from.
I must break you.
One of the Slovenia. He carried the flag. Why don't we know this?
I know. He was one of the. I don't know.
Laughs at
Slovak.
puny humans who want to
He's from
fight.
Slovakia.
Slovakia.
You type in Chara into Google, the first thing that comes up, the headline is Zdeno Chara laughs at puny humans who want to fight. So funny. Wait, where is he from? Slovakia?
Yeah.
So there you go.
He looks mad there.
He
looks
laughing
like
at him.
crazy mad, you know?
Yeah, but like, yeah, he's laughing at him, but he looks like the Joker from Batman.
I really want to see. I wanted to see that fight though.
Yeah,
That would have been good.
that would have been. I don't think it would have been good. It would
Yeah,
have
it
been
would have
gone
been
one
good.
punch.
No, I think. Who was it? Smith. I think
Yeah.
he would have held his own. I mean, he's trying to go up against him, so.
I mean, hang on. Here we go. We're seeing it right now. You got Chara just pretty much like back
He's
like
just punking him. He's
yeah,
punking him.
yeah. He's just He's just putting his hand out. I put my hand out. Of course, nobody can see me. He's just putting his hand out, like. You know, have you ever done this with like a little brother or little sibling? You put your hand on his forehead and you see like if he can like reach you, because that's what I used to do.
I like how the ref was like, "You don't want to fight." The
Yeah.
ref came in and was like,
Blind.
"Hey,"
I
I was
think
like,
Smith
"No
out,
way."
I think that's so stupid because I mean, Char's just laughing. Meanwhile, Smith already dropped the stick, and he's waiting for Char to drop the gloves to go, and Char's just saying no the entire
Yeah.
time, and then all of a sudden he drops the stick, and then the referee comes in.
Back away, puny
I
human.
think Char's. He should have fought him there. That's in my opinion. Like, well, you're going to do all this. The referees are going to back away from you, and then
It's
as
true. The
soon as-
referee like kind of let it go.
As soon as the referee came by, Char dropped the stick. Like,
Yeah.
all right, let's fight now. Oh, it's too bad. The referee's breaking it up.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, well.
If anybody out there wants to talk about the NHL playoffs, you can call in at 718-990-3SJU. That's 718-990-3758. Or you can tweet at us at SportsStop WSJU. We're also going to be talking about the NBA playoffs. We can start that right now. So yeah, just call in, tweet at us, whatever. We'll get your name out there and answer your questions or just take your rants, which is what I enjoy doing. So the NBA playoffs that has started. The Pacers came back from a huge deficit last night, didn't they?
I don't think no.
No, I mean they were only
They were
I
down
think
by
they were
4
down
at halftime.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
they were down by.
But weren't they
post
playing
10.
poorly?
That was
They
first
played
game.
very
First
poorly
game.
the
Yeah.
first game.
First
Oh,
game
okay.
they
And
Oh, yeah, they
so
lost the
at
first game.
home to the Hawks, who are the 8 seeds.
Right.
And everybody was shocked. And then they came back at home, game 2, and just blew out the Hawks in the second half.
At the
They,
same-
There you
they
go.
came up, or they were up like 24.
At the same
some
time,
point.
though, like it's not because when you're looking at it, when you put in the last 10 games of the regular season, if you put head to head, the Hawks are the better team.
If you
I
actually
mean-
look at the Hawks at the past 2 years, the Hawks have a better record against the Pacers. I think that the Pacers
Yeah.
only have 2 wins. I think.
They're not good. They're not good against the Hawks. I mean, and
I think the Hawks are 15-2 against them in the last 3 years or something.
yeah,
including
and
playoff
now they
games.
have to go to Atlanta where they haven't. I think they won once in the past 10 or whatever crazy stat it is. But I mean, the Pacers need to figure it out, and they need to figure it out right away.
I mean, it definitely looked like it was getting better last night, and I think a big part of that was that Roy Hibbert didn't play as much. Because Roy Hibbert has been criticized for the last...
Oh, he's been
couple
playing
of
like
seasons now.
crap.
Yeah, I mean, he played against... What was it, 2 weeks ago when he played against the Heat, and he had 1 rebound and he only got that in the fourth quarter. Like, the man's 7'2". The ball should fall into his hands while he's under the basket.
No, that's true.
That's the Pacers too, though. Like when Paul George was saying he should be the MVP, and then he got 2 points in a basketball game.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "All right, no, like, you can't get 2 points in a game and then say, oh, I should be MVP."
Yeah, you're out of the discussion.
Well, I think the Pacers are just like they fear the Heat like so much that like they like we're like, oh, we're playing the Hawks, 8 seed, we got that, and then we have to start worrying about the Heat, and then like they weren't really like, I don't think they took the Hawks seriously.
Yeah.
But now I think they're gonna close it out.
The problem with the Pacers right now, I think, is they don't have any secondary scoring. It's Paul George, Paul George, and more Paul George.
Step up last
All right,
night.
C.J. Watson.
C.J. Watson had a few clutch threes.
All right, but the David West, Lance Stevenson, and Hibbert, I imagine, they scored a combined 21 points.
Yeah, I mean, none of those guys are big scorers, anyways.
But
Lance Stevenson is
they need a
the
second
guy that like packs the stat sheet, and he'll occasionally bust out for like 20 points, but he's usually like a 10, 8, and 7, and then like 2 steals.
Yeah,
and a block
but
kind of
this
guy.
is the playoffs. Someone needs to step up, you know.
Yeah,
Like Paul George can't do it by himself.
I mean,
you
last
have
night
C.J.
Paul
Watson.
George was doing it by himself. He had
Well,
27
yeah.
and 10 last night.
Yeah, but this is against the Hawks, like we keep saying.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, if they want to be serious in the playoffs, someone needs to step up, and they need to step up right now.
Yeah, right now, if you just take the Pacers Heat right now, which I think is going to be Eastern, which I think we all.
I don't think right now. I don't put the Pacers on.
That's
that.
what I said. I said
I'll
Pacers.
put-
Heat.
yeah.
I think it's there.
I still think it's going to be.
I'll put the
Pacers,
Wizards
Heat.
in it right now.
Wizards are looking good though.
Wizards are looking good.
Wizards,
Brooklyn's
I think-
looking good.
I
There's
think
a lot of teams that could make it there.
I think whoever wins that Nets Raptor series has to go up against the Heat. So
And
that's the
if
tough
the
part.
Nets win it,
If they're
the Nets are
4-0,
against
yeah.
the Heat.
Yeah, that's a sweep in my book.
Yeah.
Another NBA news. Mike Woodson, of course, the local coach here for the New York Knicks, have been fired. He's been canned.
No surprise.
And also with
No
the
surprise there,
entire
no.
Yeah, the
front
entire
office.
Yeah.
the entire
Jackson
coaching staff,
cleaned out the-
Yeah, he did.
everything. I mean, that's to be expected. I mean, when you're a New York team and you're besides the Islanders, sorry,
And the Mets.
and the Mets, yes.
Yeah, Terry Collins is still there.
I
But,
mean,
you know,
besides
he's a good
that,
manager.
if you're under 500, I mean, you're going to have an entire. What am I trying to say?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're going to. Have,
Yeah, starting like fresh like this.
Yeah, it's true.
yeah, I mean, New York doesn't tolerate that.
What's
Especially the Knicks.
what is the percentage that Phil Jackson grabs the clipboard? And
No,
is the coach?
he's
5%?
Steve Kerr.
No, they offered or he's gonna give
Interview
Steve
with-
Kerr Steve Kerr an interview.
I saw that. I mean, Steve Kerr's one of his boys. Though.
Yeah,
he's one of his
exactly,
boys.
And Steve Kerr wants to coach now, and he has interest in coaching the Knicks.
That's because Phil
I mean,
Jackson's there.
I think he just wanted to coach in general. So
That's true. I think
whoever
even,
offered him the job.
I think even before Phil Jackson was signed, he showed a little bit of interest in coaching an NBA basketball team.
Well, Phil Jackson's not gonna put anyone in like a front office position or a head coach job that's not like what exactly Phil Jackson wants
Right.
to do. You know, like Steve Kerr's
and
literally
one of
gonna
his
be-
boys.
And Phil Jackson can do that
Yeah.
because he's Phil Jackson.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got 13 total.
He's got the
rings.
rings,
He's
yeah.
allowed to do
He
stuff
can do
like
that.
And if he picks Steve Kerr, he's a rookie head coach. So guess what? Phil Jackson's going to be in his ear the entire season.
Probably, yeah.
It's going to be Phil Jackson coaching through Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
Talking about coaches, if the Pacers don't make it out of the first round,
He's-
or if they even don't get to the Eastern Conference
gone.
Finals, is Vogel gone?
Yeah.
Yes, I said that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
I said if they don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, that guy is gone. Their coach.
I
What's
think
his name?
even
Vogel?
if they get to
Vogel,
the
yeah.
Eastern Conference Finals and they just don't put up a fight, then he's can too.
Yeah.
Because Larry
I
Bird,
mean, that-
even when they were still the number 1 seed, Larry Bird was like, "This team has no fight." Like,
Yeah.
they
No,
just
had
don't.
They had a catastrophic downfall.
Yeah,
it was a
They pretty much collapsed.
It was a New York Mets type thing. I think.
Almost, yeah.
Not as bad as the Knicks, though. That's
Yeah, that's bad. I mean, they had the playoffs within their grasp, and they just let it go away. But how about them Wizards?
The Wizards are
winning
fire.
101-99 last night in overtime in Chicago.
And
The Bulls
going
had
up
it.
2 games now.
Yeah, they're up 2-0
Yeah.
at Chicago, going back to Washington. But the Bulls were up I think it was 10
Yeah, they
or
were up,
12
yeah.
with 6 minutes
Double
left.
digits.
Yeah.
And they couldn't score. And
They weren't on a
that's the
full-
Bulls' biggest problem all season long is that they can't score. They're a very defensive team. And they have Carlos Boozer for the first 3 quarters, who scores a lot of their points.
And then
he goes away, and then they have a really hard time scoring points. And that's exactly what happened last night, and that's exactly what people were saying was going to be their problem in the playoffs.
The Wizards went on a 14-4 run to close the game.
Yeah.
In regulation.
Yeah, it was awful. It was awful just watching them try and shoot the ball, and nothing was going down.
They need Derrick Rose. That's Chicago's biggest problem. All they do is just wait for Derrick Rose to come back.
But at the same time,
like he's not.
Gotta be waiting a while.
At the same time, what's Derrick Rose going to do? Just do everything by himself? Because that's what would happen. He would try and do it by himself.
But they have Dunleavy. They have 3-point shooters. But just like his presence just automatically like changes that.
He won't be able to drive as effectively
Yeah.
now. Two injuries.
Well, that's good.
We don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going out on a limb and saying
when he came back from his first injury, everybody said that he was faster and he could jump higher. And he was a better driver. And then he tore his other knee.
So you have 2 bad knees now.
But because he rehabbed that first one for so long and made it so strong, that he was even stronger than he was.
I thought he would come back stronger. I mean, because Derrick Rose is a smart guy. You're going to get surgery. You're going to make sure your knee's healthy. But
there were reports saying that during his rehab, he actually increased his vertical. And things like that.
Yeah.
So
the old injury or the new one?
The old one.
Yeah.
So is he even doing anything now?
He's running.
Yeah, there you go.
Except, like, you have to remember, like, you really have to wait till the season starts because, like, remember RG3, how he, like, people were saying his knee was, like, he was having remarkable recovery and he was, like,
of course,
way ahead of progress, and then he got back and people were like, you're not RG3, you know, like
right.
You can't
exactly.
You can't do what you did.
I think with him having 2 bad knees, it's going to because he can still cut on that good knee after the first surgery, but
right.
Now you're going to have 2 bad knees that you're going to be worrying about when you're playing.
So do the Bulls go after Melo?
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Melo would want to go to the Bulls too.
Really?
I think he's actually shown interest.
I think Melo
shows interest in whoever's going to
Melo really
It's
does.
true.
If anybody says that they're interested in Melo's
He's
like
gonna-
a little high school girl, and he's like,
Except it has to be a big city. He wouldn't go to like if Charlotte called or like Phoenix, you know, like he wouldn't be like,
I
no,
mean,
I'm going to
he
like
could go
LA,
to
Chicago,
Charlotte.
New York, you know.
put him with Al Jefferson. Ooh.
For Charlotte?
But I just one thing I don't like about Carmelo, I think he's a fantastic player, but he's a team killer, and I don't think Chicago wants somebody like Carmelo in their system because Chicago is a very tight-knit team now. I mean, they're a very coordinated defensive team. They're even coordinated in offense. They just can't score because they don't have very many scorers out on the court.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that's intriguing because they are a tight-knit team and they're a defensive team first. If you put Melo there, you still have 4 guys around him that play defense, unlike the Knicks who don't play defense at all.
But it only needs one man to break down a defense.
Yeah.
If you have Carmelo not playing defense, you have a guy open the whole
Carmelo
time.
can play defense.
But he doesn't, is
Yeah.
the thing.
But
you gotta get
he's on
gotta
the
get
right
motivated.
team, I think he can.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
but
he
when
would
was
play
the last
defense
time-
on that team.
The last time I see Carmelo play defense
You
was
never
against Dirk.
No, it wasn't
That
against
final-
Dirk. It was when
final
he-
second shot.
It was when he was on Syracuse.
Yeah, okay.
It was
but
when he
like,
was on Syracuse.
Okay,
got
Carmelo
lucky on
Anthony in
that
college
third play.
basketball was just it's like Julius Randle. That's just unfair. Like he was just so much better than like ever. He won a national championship his freshman year.
Yeah.
That's
true.
ridiculous. Like,
By the way, Julius Randle also declared for the
yeah.
draft.
Yeah.
So
It
good for
seems
him.
Like pretty much everybody's coming out.
yeah,
this year.
No, and it's kind of surprising just for the simple fact that it's such a deep draft.
Yeah, it's a
like,
deep
You
draft.
really don't know where you're going to fall.
Well, there
You
was
got to
this-
be the best of the best to be the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Number 1 pick, I mean.
At the end of the year, there was so much stuff about, Julius Randle might stay, Jabari Parker might stay. All these people were
They all
thinking
come
about
out.
staying, and now they're all coming out.
it's not a
None of them are
surprise.
staying.
Yep.
it's hard to turn down that $1 million contract.
It's true.
It's
Yeah.
too hard.
If you injure yourself in college, you don't get the same amount. You don't-
Yeah.
you don't
I mean,
get
look
the same
at
contract that you
Noel.
used to.
He was a
Yeah.
number 1 pick, and he fell to 8 or something like maybe later than that. I think.
Yeah,
Like,
I think he went
that cost him
teens. I think.
Yeah, that cost him a lot of money.
Yeah. So I mean, I understand why people do it, but I also don't like programs that intentionally go out and get those one and dones, like Kentucky.
Like Kentucky. I mean,
Yeah.
All 5 starters in the national championship freshmen. I think only the guy who was Cauley Stein, and then that
Cauley Stein, I like him.
yeah, and
'Cause
then
he's not one and done.
yeah, and then also number 1 for Kentucky. He also is staying.
The Harrison twins are staying.
Yeah. Well, they're kind of like I don't know if they're ready for the league yet.
They're
Yeah.
not ready.
What do you guys feel like? There's some talks going around. I'm not sure if it's just me in my classes or if it's actually going on in the news. They're thinking about. I don't know. Again, I'm not sure if this is true, but they're thinking about having a 2-year instead of
like
the
it.
one and done year.
I like
you
it.
have the 2-year.
Yeah, they are
I
talking
like
about
it.
They are right.
I like that idea.
I like it too.
they're
It gives
too young.
it gives the NBA teams like more time to evaluate
Yeah.
these players
Exactly.
because they're going to be throwing millions of dollars at them.
And they can actually get an education. More
Yeah,
education.
it's true.
I mean, but what's going to stop a person from going to 2 years of college? Like, if somebody goes to 2 years of college, it's not going to make them want to be like, oh, I'm halfway done now. Instead of a quarter, I still have 2 more years to go.
It still
Instead of
develops them
me
more in
just
basketball
going
sense, though.
Yeah,
to the league.
It develops them more in the sense of basketball, though.
yeah, which I like about
I mean,
it.
but that sets some people back.
Yeah, so what? I mean,
I mean,
if they go into the NBA, I mean, if they're the number one pick and they go into the NBA and you find out they shouldn't have been the number one pick, what's the difference? You just save yourself a pick.
I mean, it's
by
good in that
evaluating.
situation, but it's also bad in let's say like a situation like Bynum came out of high school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say Bynum
Kobe Bryant.
has to go to 2 years of college, tears his ACL his sophomore year, and is never the same player again, and can't get that paycheck and can't afford to help his family out. Like that's one thing that I don't like about it.
You still see everyone going after Bynum, though, regardless of the knee injuries, because he's a big guy.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like
I'm
the
just-
hypothetical. I just throw out like a hypothetical
Well, yeah,
situation.
I
More
got
than
you.
it's
Like,
Bynum, but another like big
even
name
if it's
player
like
in high
Odom,
school.
like
Or let's say LeBron James.
Benjamin
LeBron
Button,
James
you mean?
was like the highest touted player out of high school ever.
Yeah.
And let's say he tears both his ACLs
that sucks.
and, and doesn't get the contract that he wants and then doesn't ever become the LeBron James.
Take care of
He had
yourself,
to go.
young man.
Yeah,
I mean, people take care of themselves.
if you
Look
see-
at
if you
Derrick
find out-
Rose takes
It's
care
true.
of himself.
It's
He had
true.
a
If you find
really
out-
strong right knee and then he tore his left knee.
if you find out like they're injury prone, I mean, you're saving yourselves. Like from a NBA like owner's perspective.
I know, but I'm talking more about the player's perspective.
Yeah, I'm coming
You
from
know?
But you know what's
Yeah.
crazy though? Like what you said, like Atticus, like how like in the first 2 years they play college if they tear their ACL. But if you look at like Derrick Rose and Greg Oden, both went to college, both had great freshman years, and then after that they went to the NBA, and then they started their knees just gave
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, but Greg Oden always had knee problems. He had knee
Yeah.
problems back
You
at
guys
Ohio
mean
State.
Benjamin Button. All right. Well, we're going to finish up with the NBA talk because, again, we only have a half hour left. Next half hour, we're going to be talking about the MLB. History was made last night in Washington, D.C., so you don't want to miss any of that. Plus, we'll talk about injuries and other types of MLB news. So stick around. You don't want to miss it here on the Sports Stop here on WSJU Radio.
You're listening to the WSJU Sports Update, giving you up-to-the-minute stats, scores, and news.
Hello, welcome back to the Sports Stop here on WSJU Radio. Here's your sports news of the day. The St. John's guard D'Angelo Harrison has been awarded with the Haggerty Award. This award is presented to the top Division I basketball player in the New York metropolitan area. Harrison averaged 17.5 points per game this past season. The NHL playoffs are underway, and the local New York Rangers find themselves a game up on the Philadelphia Flyers as they lead the series 2-1 after winning last night 4-1 in Philadelphia. The NBA playoffs have also started, and the only New York team in the postseason, the Brooklyn Nets, are tied in their series against the Toronto Raptors at 1 game apiece. Albert Pujols smashed his 500th home run last night for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, making him just the 26th member of the 500 home run club. And the New York Mets have solved their first base situation by trading Ike Davis to Pittsburgh and keeping Lucas Duda. I'm James Mitchell, and that was your sports news of the day. Stick around for the last half hour of the Sports Stop here on WSJU Radio, the voice of St. John's University.
Welcome back to the Sports Stop. James? Atticus? Evan?
Okay. All right, fellas.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sports Stop here on WSJU Radio, the voice of St. John's University. It's April 23rd. It was very sunny this morning. It looks like it got a little bit cloudy out there, but it's all right. It's still spring.
At least it's not cold.
It's like 50s.
Yeah, I mean, that's doable.
That's doable.
I
but
just put a sweatshirt and a hat. I only put the hat on because I woke up late and didn't want to, do anything to my hair, so I just threw a hat on.
I love how every week we always talk about the weather.
it's because, listen, time and weather are the two most important things in life. Right?
What about sports?
Sports are probably number 3. And that's why we do the show. But we always have to mention the first two. Like it's 11:29 right now. So yeah, we have about a half hour left. If you want to call in at 718-990-3SJU, that's 718-990-3758. Again, it's only a half hour left because of scheduling conflicts. It's a Monday schedule here at St. John's. So instead of being the full 2-hour Wednesday show, technically it's a Monday schedule. So I guess technically we shouldn't be here, but whatever. So let's talk about the MLB. Big news of the night was...
Albert Pujols.
No, not him. No. Of course it was Albert Pujols.
Oh, I thought you were being serious. I was
No.
like, what else happened?
Last night he hit home runs number 499 and 500 in Washington, D.C. for the Angels.
He's the first player ever to hit his 499th and 500 in the same game.
Yeah, it's true.
That's impressive.
He would do it with some class.
Oh, yeah.
Albert Pujols would just be like, all right.
And
Yeah.
he got his 500th baseball back for free.
See, all right. If you caught, I think Atticus and I talked about this with Barry Bonds' home run ball. If you caught a historic home run ball like Albert Pujols' 500 or with Barry Bonds' 715, or no, 756.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was Hank Aaron with 715. What would you do with it? Would you A, give it to the Baseball Hall of Fame for free because they won't be looking for anything, they're looking for donations? B, give it back to the player
And expect some nice payback.
and of course you'd probably get like a signed ball or a signed bat or something big. Or C, sell it on eBay for thousands of dollars.
I wouldn't
which you
sell
could
it.
probably
I
get.
wouldn't sell it on eBay, but I would do what the guy that got Derek Jeter's the home run that turned out to be his
3,000th
3,000th
hit.
I would do what he did.
And
I mean,
he
got
went
a
down.
lot of compensation. For
Yeah,
that.
he went down. He met Jeter. He gave him the ball
He got
and
signed memorabilia.
Yeah.
He got. I'm pretty sure he got a lot of Yankees tickets.
Oh, for
For
sure.
it. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
like that's good compensation for it. Like I want to give it back for free though.
It really depends on the player for me. Like if I caught Barry Bonds' record-breaking home run, I hate Barry Bonds, so I'd sell it on eBay for a lot of money.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
don't know about that.
Yeah, but that's different because the
still-
steroids thing. The
Yeah.
steroids thing really ruins
one,
that.
I disagree with his record. I don't
Yeah.
like Barry Bonds, so I would definitely sell that one. But if it's somebody that I really like, I don't know.
So
like,
do you
if
like
I
Pujols?
caught Ken Griffey Jr.'s 500th home run,
Yeah.
That'd be
ball
so cool.
or something like that.
All right,
Then
so-
I'd want to try and meet Ken Griffey and see
Yeah.
if I could get a signed bat and a signed ball or something. I wouldn't ask for too much, but I'd be like, could I at least shake his hand and get a signed bat?
So what about Pujols though?
Pujols, I mean,
I
Pujols
would give
is
it
one
back.
of the great players of our generation.
Yeah,
so
but he's on the Angels.
I'd give it back to him.
He's on the Angels.
Not only
though.
of our generation, but of all time.
Yeah.
Last night I was comparing his stats to the other 500 home run.
He's the
club
third
members.
youngest, right? He's the
Yeah,
third
yeah,
youngest
third
to,
youngest.
He's
to
the
get
third
the
youngest
500.
behind A-Rod and Jimmy Fox. There's a little trivia, Jimmy Mitchie's Nuggets for you. Also, I was comparing his stats here. Let me, you guys talk while I try and look it up, but because it really shows that he's one of the best players of all time. So please continue our
so
conversation.
If it was Pujols' ball, because he is such an iconic player, I would give it back to him. But I would definitely want something like a signed bat or a signed ball or something like that. I think it's pretty much only Barry Bonds that I hate enough to sell on eBay.
What about A-Rod though?
Yeah,
what if
what
he?
about A-Rod?
Eight 600?
A-Rod definitely. A-Rod definitely.
What about Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, those guys?
Mark McGwire too. I like Sammy Sosa,
Yeah, Sammy Sosa's cool.
but Mark McGwire, A-Rod, Barry Bonds.
What's the difference between Sosa and McGuire?
I don't know. I've just always.
What is the
I think Sammy Sosa's name is funner to say. It's like Sammy Sosa.
Yeah.
Sammy Sosa.
And he was on the Cubs, and the Cubs, you just have that pity feeling for the Cubs.
Yeah, because the Cubs are
and
always
that was
awful.
that was their last great play.
Because McGuire won more? You don't like him?
I mean,
Is that what I'm hearing?
Here's a family fun fact for you.
It's a family fun fact.
My little brother, when he was really small, probably like around 4 or something like that, instead of saying orange soda, because he loved orange soda, he was like Kel from Keenan and Kel, he would say Sammy Sosa.
What?
Yeah.
Orange soda, you say Sammy Sosa?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Because I think he, baseball's big in my house, so like he mixed up the soda with Sosa, and I think he just kind of connected it with Sammy, and thus creating orange soda as Sammy Sosa. I don't know.
Hey, maybe you should just start a brand of orange soda called Sammy Sosa.
We should. I had
you could
$1 million idea.
You could join with Sosa. And create a brand together. He would supply like the down payment or like the startup money.
What does he do? Does anyone know where Sammy Sosa is today?
Probably juicing somewhere.
Probably enjoying his life as a millionaire and playing baseball for a lot of years.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or he's just a cripple now.
But
because
last night on
down.
ESPN, all the sports commentators and all the guys were like debating whether Albert Pujols will get to 700. And I was just wondering,
it's so hard to say, like, just in general, because he is starting to get hurt more now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If he's healthy, I think he can do it. But
I mean, he's healthy now. He's leading the league with 8 home runs.
Yeah, but at the same, look at the past few seasons. He's gotten injured in the past few seasons, and I think it's just a trend that as he's getting older, he's going to start breaking down a little bit more, and I don't think he can stay healthy to get to 7.
It just really depends on like how long he can stay in the league. If he plays till he's 40 and he can stay healthy till he's 40, then definitely he'll hit 700 home runs. But it really depends on when his body really starts to break down, when he starts to hit worse.
And the process is beginning for him.
Yeah, it's true. All right, now this is a article, with all these stats by Mac Asisa, who we had on the show last semester on Cover 3. So he's a friend here of WSJU. Batting average. This is compared to the rest of the 500 home run club. Albert Pujols is 4th in batting average with a 320
Who's
average.
ahead of him?
There's Ted Williams, Babe Ruth, Jimmy Fox.
That's a pretty good list to be with.
On base percentage, Pujols is 9th out of 26.
Yeah.
Slugging percentage, Pujols is 5th. Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, Jimmy Fox, Barry Bonds in front of him. OPS, Pujols is 5th with those 4 same guys in front of him. Hits, Pujols is 21st, but he still has a long way to go. Doubles, Pujols is 6th. Manny Ramirez is 5, by the way.
Oh God! Well, that's because he has the green monster.
Okay, and here is what really astounded me. All right, Pujols has 15 triples. He's 24th out of 26 of the 500.
That's pretty impressive for Pujols.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I might like.
Okay, you got Willie Mays and Babe Ruth. Okay, what do you think is the difference in triples between those two guys? One, you think Babe Ruth has one less triple than Willie Mays?
No,
I would Willie Mays by far more than Babe Ruth.
Well, if you're telling us this, I'm going to think it's close now.
Yeah.
Now I think.
Well, how close?
Now I think like they're tied or something.
Well, how close?
I'm going to say Babe Ruth is up on him.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
I promise you, Babe Ruth is not up on him.
Okay, I'm gonna go like 3. I'm gonna say
3?
Willie Mays is 3.
If I didn't mention this, how many would you think?
I would say like 10.
I'd say like 20.
Yeah,
20?
10,
I'd
20.
say like 25.
Okay.
Yeah, up there.
Willie Mays had 140 triples.
Wow.
Now, how many do you think Babe Ruth had?
He might have.
He might have like 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Babe Ruth is a slow dude.
Right.
He's a real slow
So
dude.
now you're changing it to 120, the difference.
Yeah.
Okay. Babe Ruth had 136.
Wow.
Only 4 away. Right?
Wow.
That's insane. So,
At the same, we're thinking about like comparing them to like what we see today too.
That's crazy.
Right.
Ballparks were so different back then, and the arms weren't the same.
right.
So I mean, you can kind of see it.
I mean, and you
but-
always see the film of Babe Ruth running the bases with his short little steps.
but most of those are home run trots that we see.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So I mean,
I just loved watching him. Like he'd scarf down a hot dog in the on deck circle,
Yeah.
to the plate and just smash it.
but I mean, I was astounded when I read that. I was like,
Absolutely.
"What? This is
That's
no
crazy.
way!" RBIs, Pujols is 23rd. Strikeouts, he has the second least amount of strikeouts. Of course, behind the great Ted Williams. Ted Williams only had 709 strikeouts.
So Ted Williams is pretty much the best player on there then. He's like...
I mean, now we're going to WAR. Of course, wins above replacement. Babe Ruth, of course, is 163. Barry Bonds is 162.4. Pujols is 93.7. So, I mean, if you want to go into the deep statistical Moneyball stats, WAR is the ones that, people always look for the best player. Then you got Babe Ruth on top of that one. But, I mean, that's just some stats comparing Pujols to some of the game's greats. And, it's astounding that,
Well, it just shows that he's up there. Like,
oh, yeah, definitely.
It just shows.
I was never a fan of... Pujols. He was a Cardinal. I wasn't really a big fan of the Cardinals, especially in 06. I'm a Mets fan, by the way. In 06, when the Mets lost to the Cardinals in the NLCS, it just seemed like Pujols always destroyed the Mets. I was at a game where Pujols hit 2 home runs against them. That game also...
Pujols hit 2 home runs against everyone, so don't
it's
feel
true.
bad.
And
but
then
also,
3 in the World Series. I won the World Series game.
Yeah, that's right. He's
That's crazy.
One of only 3 people to do it.
And Pablo Sandoval for the Giants.
Yep, he's the other one. And, of course...
Panda.
Yeah,
Yes.
against Justin Verlander, too.
Yeah.
That was the craziest part
That
about
is.
that.
I love
Poor Tigers.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we witnessed greatness last night with Pujols, and, it's really been a pleasure watching him and his career from early 2000s. It's really our generation. And
Yeah,
it's,
it really is. He's like
it's
the
special.
star of our generation.
Yeah.
It's crazy how many like stars we are able to watch in our generation, and back then you have like all the stars back then. You have like NBA wise, like Michael Jordan was back then.
Yeah.
We're watching LeBron James now.
Right.
I mean,
but the NBA the NBA is
Gretzky
one of
was
those
back
leagues-
then. We're watching Crosby now.
yeah.
I mean, the NBA has always been packed with stars. I mean, every single generation has had some great stars. You start
But
with
we might
Kareem
be looking at the
Abdul-Jabbar.
best.
Well, actually, you start with Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. Then you got
the
Kareem
stilt.
Abdul-Jabbar. Then you got Magic and Bird. And then you got Jordan and Pippen and Stockton, Malone and Barkley and all that stuff. And now you got Kobe and Shaq. And now you got LeBron and Durant.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Like the NBA has always been really packed with a lot of good, not only good superstars, but a lot of good rivalries.
Yeah, definitely.
Very true.
You got the Magic Bird rivalry. You got the Wilt Russell rivalry. You got the Jordan
Versus
Malone.
everyone.
Yeah,
Pretty much versus everyone.
or you could say Jordan Olajuwon rivalry, or however James says it.
Aljawian.
Yeah, and now you got right now it's really Kevin Durant versus LeBron James.
At the same time, it doesn't compare to back in the day though, the rivalries, because back in the day it was a rivalry. There was bad blood between everyone.
Yeah, and they would the bad boys of Detroit. They would get in a fight. They used to literally beat up Michael Jordan.
I mean, that was all before free agency hit. That was all before, guys would switch teams and become buddies with everybody else.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
It was also before, hand checks, or hand checks were illegal. It was before a lot of physical play was illegal. And so it was really easy to push players around, which is one reason why I think Michael Jordan would be even better today than he was in the 90s.
Oh,
because
yeah,
he
for
was
sure.
fighting through hand checks nonstop. He was constantly getting pushed. He was every single time he was driving, he was getting hit hard.
Yeah, now everything's a foul.
You don't
today.
see that. You don't have centers like Patrick Ewing or Patrick Ewing would hit you if you came into he would be like,
the only center that has true grit, I'll say Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah,
How
he
about
won't
that
back down.
game-winning shot, or that game-tying shot by Kendrick Perkins the other day?
How about Durant's
How about
three-pointer
Durant's,
and one?
4-point
That
play.
was impressive.
That was incredible.
That's my problem with the Thunder, though. They do all this great stuff, and Kevin Durant can get 40, and then Russell Westbrook can get 20, but they lose to the Grizzlies. It's ridiculous. Honestly, that's why I don't see them beating the Heat.
Yeah, the thing that was ridiculous about that game, though, was Russell Westbrook had 29 midway through the fourth quarter. Didn't score another single point.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook needs to realize that he is the second best player on that team.
Oh, yeah, for
He
sure.
should not be taking those threes when it matters. He should be getting the ball to Kevin Durant, the MVP this year, the player who's averaging 32 points a game this year.
You tell him, Atticus.
He should be getting the ball to him. Instead of, he was, 1 for 6 from 3? And those were open threes, and he was missing them. Like, I understand that it's an open three and he should take it, but he was taking questionable shots when Kevin Durant should be touching the ball more.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's what I really
Russell
saw.
Westbrook-
It was a breakdown of the team at the end of the game. Russell Westbrook was taking far too many shots, and they weren't passing the ball around and getting it through. Like, you don't need Kevin Durant to take every single shot, but at least
he needs to
feed
touch
the ball through him.
Yeah.
He needs to touch it because he'll draw defenders. He can kick it to an open player.
let Kevin
They
Durant
have
be the point
shooters.
guard.
Yeah.
Now-
No, not be the point guard.
No,
but-
other than rather than Westbrook.
No, I like Westbrook as a point guard. And
I like him
ball
as a
because
two
Westbrook
guard.
attacks the basket.
Yeah.
Westbrook sees an
Two.
opening.
I'm
He's a
with
two
him.
guard.
May-
He's a two that's forced to play
May-
the one on that team.
May I make a suggestion?
Go back to
That was
MLB.
a terrific rant. But my one suggestion of that rant is to replace the word ball with rock. In a rant like that, you always got to say you got to feed him the rock. You always got to say feed him the rock. So you can try it again.
I think they should put Bo Jackson as the one, move Russell to the two.
Bo
but
Jackson?
yeah. Oh no. What's
Reggie Jackson?
Reggie
I
Jackson?
know.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Jackson.
Another former baseball great.
Reggie Jackson, actually, when Russell Westbrook did go out, Reggie Jackson had a
played
great year. So it would make sense, but then where do you put Thabo Cephalosha, who isn't a great offensive player, but he's a great defensive player? That's part of the reason that they went into overtime in that game.
But I think you start off the game like that, but then once you get down to crunch time, you need offense at the end of the game.
If you're losing,
and
you
Russell
need
Westbrook
offense.
isn't a bad defense. Like Russell Westbrook is one of the most athletic people. He can defend people.
Yeah, and he's fast. He's got fast hands. He can get the steals. I mean, Cephalosha is a lockdown defender, so put him in the game when you need the defense when you already have a lead. Just
in your opinion, who's taking the Western Conference?
Western Conference Spurs. Easy.
Just because of Greg Popovich?
Because Greg Popovich, because Tony
great
Parker, Kawhi Leonard, Manu Ginobili.
Kawhi Leonard.
I can keep on naming players on the Spurs.
Kawhi Leonard is really having a coming out. I just was watching a Spurs game lately, and they were and typical Popovich resting all Duncan, Ginobili, and Kawhi Leonard was just going off on people, and I was just like,
Kawhi Leonard is a great player, and he's a great player in that system because he only averages 13 points a game, but he just packs that stat sheet. He averages 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 or maybe 1 assist or not 1 assist, 1 block, 1 steal. He's a very, very solid player. But the reason why I think the Spurs are going to win it all is because they were the only 60-win team this year. They breezed to a 62-20 record. They had 37 different starting rotations this year because Popovich was constantly benching people, constantly resting people, putting new people in the starting lineup. So they had 37 different lineup rotations or starting lineup rotations, and they still breezed to 62 wins. It was incredible what they did this year.
You guys want to hear another Atticus rant?
Yes.
All right.
Are you going to say David Stern?
No.
Okay.
8 in a row.
That was awesome with Felix on the mound twice.
All right,
They
so
had Felix on the mound twice.
the Mariners,
and they can't win.
Atticus's Mariners went from
They were 7-5.
They were 7-5.
tied with Oakland for the first or the best record in the West.
they
in
lost
the AL West.
the last 10 games. They've only won 1 of them, so they're 1-9, and they have lost 8 in a row.
8 in a row. They've had Felix on the mound twice, including 2 nights ago. Yeah. He had 6 runs.
Yep.
But only 2 of those were earned.
Okay.
Because you have people like Dustin Ackley playing left field.
I'm a fan of Dustin Ackley.
He's
Not
a
in left field,
fantastic
but
hitter. He's a great player. He's got a lot of heart. The beard maybe has to go. It's a little too much.
Stop it.
yeah,
But
no.
him in left field,
Look at the Red Sox. They are world champions.
I mean, it's not
That's
working
a
for
fluke.
the Mariners.
That's a fluke.
They have 8 straight losses. But the reason why he only had 2 earned runs
Gotta
is
give
because
it time.
people in the outfield can't catch. You have Dustin Ackley trying to catch a ball at the warning track, and he can't do it because he's not used to that.
It's true. It's hard to see Dustin Ackley. They only want him in for his bat,
Yeah.
and they already have a DH. What is it, Corey Hart?
yeah.
Because-
He's actually hitting pretty well.
Yeah,
this year,
but
too.
his knees are shot. He's not going to be in the outfield all that
No.
often this year. They want Dustin Ackley in for his bat, and they have no.
They got Cano at second.
They have Cano at second. He
They're not
can't
gonna
play
move
second.
Cano, yeah.
I
And-
think they should move Cano to center field, actually.
So they're moving Ackley to the outfield, and it's hard to see that happen, especially with an infield. Like, I remember as a Mets fan, Daniel Murphy in the outfield running around out there with because they want him in at bat, and he was the natural third baseman. But they had David Wright there. They couldn't put him there. Now he's the second baseman. He's one of the most talented second basemen in the leagues, if I do say so myself.
I have him on my fantasy team.
I mean, who else? Again,
Evan just threw his eyes.
another Matt Lucas Duda bumbling out there in the outfield. Can't do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hard. Speaking of Lucas Duda, the Mets solved their first base situation as they traded away Ike Davis to the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he's doing quite well.
Grand slam.
Grand
Slam against the Reds. Only the
second something.
The third player to do that against the same team while playing for two different teams. He hit a game-winning grand slam against the Reds. No, against the Reds for the Mets, and then he just hit one against the Reds with the Pirates.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That just seems like a bit of a stretch for a stat.
But it's a stat
only
nonetheless.
The third player to hit a
No, but that's baseball, though.
No, it wasn't a game-winning. It wasn't a game-winning game.
Oh,
for
okay.
Yeah, but
it was just
baseball.
a
No,
grand
baseball
slam.
has stats like
Oh,
just up the wazoo.
It seems like hockey has some crazy stats like that. Like,
Yeah.
they just have some insane stats that like nobody really cares.
Yeah,
about,
like-
somebody's keeping track of.
yeah, like
I feel
how many
all
goals Sidney?
sports have that though.
I think a lot of sports do, but I think like hockey is the leader, and then baseball.
think-
I think
I
it's
think-
hockey
I
and
think-
baseball.
I think baseball's up there.
baseball's-
I think
I think
baseball's
baseball's
first.
one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you got baseball, and then you got hockey, and then I think it really just drops off for like NBA and
You know,
NFL.
it's character. Everybody loves tradition. Everybody loves history.
Well, some
least I
of
do.
the ones you see are just like
Are really out there.
Our Sports Center just having too much time on their hands.
Yeah,
They
And-
really do.
It's really
A lot of
just
times I'll watch sports-
Tim Kirchin like in his booth. Like, oh, let me see who else pitched a fastball 60 times in a game on when it was raining.
Sometimes I just feel like I get SportsCenter tweets, or I'll be watching SportsCenter, and they'll say something crazy like that. They'll be like, "This is only the second player in history to walk up to the base and hit a shot in between these same two defenders 3 times in his career." Like, I don't need
Like
to know
what?
that.
Come on. Also, in other news with the Yankees going on with them, Nova's down for the count. He has a partially torn UCL. Of course, that means Tommy John surgery. So we'll see what happens there.
But
But
there's Masahiro Tanaka.
Masahiro
Ooh.
He's been
Tanaka.
having a great year.
Absolutely.
Might I mention?
Yes,
What
he
was it?
has.
Not his last start, but the start before that, he went 8, 10 strikeouts, 2 hits, 1 walk, no earned runs.
And the 2 hits were because they were bunts, because you know how baseball's starting to do that shift
Yeah.
in the infield. And his only 2 hits were just bunts.
Was that against the Orioles?
No, the first one's against the Cubs.
That was against the Cubs. Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
you know,
But I mean, last night he introduced himself to the Red Sox.
Right.
It was phenomenal.
except he had
made-
2 mistakes.
Yeah, he had 2 mistakes, but you know,
And to be honest, I don't know if it was a coincidence or not, but he pitched indoors in Japan. Those 2 home runs came right when the rain came.
Mm.
And then he settled down after that.
yeah.
What?
By the way, did you see Ortiz's home run?
That was a shot.
485 feet. That's the second most so far measured in the season.
That's insane.
Going against Stanton, I'm imagining.
Stanton, yeah. I think Stanton had 489 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or 87.
Did we ever find out? I don't know if we talked about this at all.
Yeah.
But what was it, like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago? Michael Pineda looked like he had pine tar in his
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah,
What was up with that?
He said
Did
it.
anybody-
He said it was dirt.
he said it was dirt with sweat, and it made it look like that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure he's
nothing came of it.
No,
so
nothing came of it.
Yeah.
People do that all the time. You just don't.
And it was
you
on his.
can't get caught.
It was on his pitching hand, and it was like up on his wrist, so it's not even like he could try and like do anything with the fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, that's like.
I mean,
Everybody in the booth right now.
we're trying to do it.
You try it.
See, you have long fingers, don't you?
You have long
That's
fingers.
hard.
It was right about there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like,
he
okay,
can do
yeah.
that.
He could do that.
No, it wasn't on his wrist. It was on.
Yeah,
it was on his
like,
palm.
It was on like his
was like-
palm, but
Yeah, but
like
when you
the-
throw a
the
baseball,
thumb part.
it's a lot of it is like.
is your
here.
2 fingers?
Yeah, it's right. Like,
And so I know I can't do that with my index finger. I can't get down there.
You can get it with the.
I can do it, but it really hurts my wrist.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I can't believe we
But,
did
like,
that.
but
Thank God
imagine-
nobody. Oh wait, people are in the studio right
Imagine
now.
him imagine him on the mound trying to do that. Like people would
Like,
see
yeah,
him,
yeah, yeah.
see him,
That
like
makes sense.
awkwardly trying to like run his palm.
It was against the Red Sox, and they had some questions about it with Buchholz last year. So I don't think they wanted to make a big deal about it because I mean they were very similar situation with Buchholz last year, who my Cy Young Award winner for the AL isn't doing too well.
I don't think any of our
How's
picks are doing
Ubaldo
well.
doing?
Ubaldo isn't
horrible.
doing well.
He's like 0-4 with like a
I don't know
5
what
ERA.
Andrew was thinking. He just jumped on that Oriole bandwagon. But no, Ubaldo Jimenez is not doing well. What's his ERA right now?
6.6.
Yeah, so that's tough.
He is 0-3 in 4 games.
All right, guys, we're going to have to go. I know it's only 11:54, but it's common courtesy to let the following show host come in and set it up and everything like that. And, of course, that's going to be Jada. I believe she has an indie show, so you don't want to miss that. So, yeah, it was fun. A little bit shorter, but jam-packed, which is always good. It's just a sprint. And, of course, we're going to be back here next week. Going to be the full 2-hour show. That's going to be April 30th. Not sure what we're going to do. Honestly, I wasn't sure what we were going to do today. But
Turned
we
into
did
a
it.
good show, I guess.
Champions League happens today.
Yeah,
Is it-
Champions League.
Bayern Munich, Real.
Yeah, that's going to be a great game.
And I think Atletico Madrid's going to advance through because
Oh,
Chelsea
absolutely.
lost their goalie and their best defender.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Check and
They-
pay.
Stop.
So,
Hey.
this is a quick soccer segment.
Nobody cares right now.
And you guys, every single time I text James and I say something, like, 'cause we have to text about like sports stuff.
He always
and I'll
texts us
say-
back. Don't care.
Yeah,
I don't-
or
no one
he'll be like-
cares.
He'll be like,
Nobody
nobody
cares.
cares. Yeah.
So,
Nobody cares.
Or he'll reply back, what? And then I'll say, soccer or something
He's
like
like,
that.
no
And I'll
one
be like,
cares.
"No."
Nobody cares.
so
So I'm glad to see that you're outnumbered today, 3-1. right now.
I'm always outnumbered. But we actually
we
have
have
one
another
from
one.
the old
Yeah.
country.
so it's gonna be a fun soccer day. So
It will
Yeah,
be, but-
yeah.
This-
You
this
guys
is-
can go around
I'm
and kick
really
the ball.
excited for this upcoming next 2 months because you got Champions League, the semifinal right now, and then you got the final coming up in a month or something
Hey.
like that, and then you got the World Cup. And James, I know you gotta like the World
you
Cup.
have to get
I-
hyped
I-
up
you
for
like
World
the World
Cup.
I watch the World Cup.
World
from
Cup
time
gets
to time.
crazy, like
It does.
especially in Brazil
Yeah,
Oh
it's gonna be
because
insane.
like
There's gonna
Brazil's
be-
kind of shady too, so things are really crazy, you know.
Yeah, I'll
Brazil's
definitely.
real shaky.
Yeah, it's just
I'll definitely watch the World Cup. All right, for Kurt, new member.
thank you
Kurt,
for
right? Yeah.
Yes,
All right,
thank
I
you
was
for having
right.
me.
No problem. Come by anytime. Of course, if you want to be a member, just do what you gotta do.
Oh yeah, I'm halfway there, I think.
Oh, see, there you go. I can sign your thing if you want. For Kurt, Evan McGuire, Atticus, George Andrzejewski, I am James Mitchell, wishing you a happy Wednesday. Life is good today. Let's keep it that way. So have a happy Wednesday, and we'll see you next week for the full 2-hour sports stop here on WSJU Radio, the voice of St. John's University.